Hi, this is Jerry Hauser, and you are listening to TV Confidential.
Ed Robertson along with Greg Ehrbar as we continue our look at Hanna-Barbera, the adorable Saturday morning cartoon edition as part of our DVD and streaming report.
We move along to the Biskitts.
The Biskitts.
The Biskitts are ready.
Okay, Biskitts is Biskitts.
Yes,
Biskitts.
the Biskitts.
Okay.
I actually have read-along records of the Biskitts, so I'm pretty excited by this. And the Biskitts, now these are like little dog kind of characters.
Now this is a Hanna-Barbera production, but the dogs, they look Disney-esque. The art looks very Disney-esque.
Yeah, they kind of do. Now, here's something to note here. They do look kind of Disney-esque, and this is after the outsourcing, many years after the outsourcing started, and Disney had opened the doors to companies in Taiwan and Japan that were doing the animation, and the other companies had to follow along because they were getting quality from doing that at the costs, and they were paying a lot for that. I mean, Disney did use higher budgets, but they also got fantastic results because they were doing it overseas. And the other animation companies did the same thing. So it's very possible that some of the Hanna-Barbera shows were starting to be made also in those places. So their overlap was getting harder in the 80s to tell some of these shows apart. Yeah. So you may very well be seeing something that had some people who had maybe moved from Disney at this point to work on this show, to make the Biskitts.
Mm-hmm.
And
Biskitts.
The Biskitts. Now, this is sort of
the smallest dogs in the world.
Well,
I'm reading off the package. It says on the package, it must be true. They are the smallest dogs in the world.
Now, this is cool because this has got a king who basically all he ever says is, Shecky! It's basically all you ever hear goes, Shecky! In fact, in one episode, somebody does an impression of him and just goes, Shecky!
Now that's Ken Mars.
Ken Mars, who was the voice of Triton in The Little Mermaid and was even more famous for what he did on camera. You know, he's in The Producers and in What's Up, Doc? And, I mean,
Young Frankenstein.
He was the throwing the darts, you know, and he was a consummate character.
He's a great actor.
One of the all-time greatest. So he's going, Shecky, all through this. And he's, no daughter of mine will marry what is he, a fish eater. That's Kenneth Mars. So he's in this. This is
And you did a very good Kenneth Mars, Greg.
Shecky. so it also has Henry Gibson in it.
Oh, from Laugh-In.
Yes, who did, as you know, the voice of Wilbur and Charlotte's Web.
He did a lot of animated voice cartoon stuff.
And playing the heroic lead is Daryl Hickman.
Oh, Dwayne's brother.
His brother.
No, Daryl was not the CBS executive. Dwayne was.
Dwayne was,
Okay, that's
yes.
what I thought.
But Daryl worked steadily.
That would be kind of slumming to go from the head of a network to doing... Not that there's anything wrong with animated voiceover work, but that would be kind of slumming to go from running a network to doing animation.
I'd rather do the cartoon. I'd rather be a biscuit. I think I'll get a T-shirt that says that.
I'd rather be a biscuit.
I'd rather be a biscuit.
The smallest dogs in the world.
And it also features a good friend of yours, Mr. Jerry Hauser.
Ah!
And he plays the kind of annoying little biscuit. He's not as annoying as Junior on Snorks. But he can be a problem.
But that is one of Jerry.
You need that.
That is part of Jerry's repertoire of voices.
Yeah.
He could do that.
He's kind of whiny.
He could do that kind of whiny character, yeah.
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 And so it's and you just, the minute you hear it, it's Jerry Hauser. And I'm surprised that wasn't the first thing he mentioned was the Biskitts when he was interviewed when he was on the show.
But that's because I laser focused on the Keebler Elves.
Yeah, otherwise he would have, I don't know, he should have interrupted you and said, wait a minute, forget all that other stuff. The Biskitts, my friend.
No, we lasered in on the Keebler Elves and the fact that he is the voice you hear every Christmas season on CBS.
Yes.
He is the voice of the CBS holiday season. He is the CBS elf.
CBS elf.
Yes.
Yes.
And former Biscuit. In fact, that's how we're going to identify him. That's where we're going to identify him. Former Biscuit, Jerry Hauser.
I'd rather be a biscuit.
I'd rather be, and you're going to get a T-shirt that says that.
That's right. That's right.
And we'll send one to Jerry. Greg Ehrbar is with us as we continue our look at Hanna-Barbera, the adorable Saturday morning cartoon edition as part of our DVD and streaming report.
And now we move on to Paws.
Paws. Paws, the complete series.
Or as they say in the theme, inexplicably, Paw Bears.
Yes, when you're in trouble, call the Paws. Now, this is a great voice cast. It doesn't feature the great Jerry Hauser, but it does feature Ruth Buzzy.
Ruth Buzzy's great in
from
this.
Laugh-In. Scatman Crothers, who
as a genie.
As I always think, whenever I think of Scatman Crothers in cartoons, I think of Hong Kong Phooey, which is another Hanna-Barbera show. But Scatman Crothers is Eugene the Genie, and the evil wizard Dark Paw is voiced by Stanley Ralph Ross.
Which is pretty interesting because of who he is.
Stanley Ralph Ross, if you know the Batman TV show, and to a lesser degree if you know the Monster Squad TV show, you know Stanley Ralph Ross. He wrote almost all of the Julie Newmar Catwoman episodes. He wrote almost all of the King Tut episodes, and he wrote both of the Cliff Robertson Shame episodes, which collectively, those 10 or 12 shows are among the funniest and very best of the Batman TV series.
And as Julie Newmar said in the interview you played not long ago, she credits him wholeheartedly with developing her character.
Yeah.
And on this show, he plays the bad guy, but it's a comical bad guy, and he doesn't know what to do. His flunky says the thing, he repeats it back, and it becomes his idea. And then
that happens a lot.
Yes, and then he goes to he's related to this witch character who he goes to see, which is Ruth Buzzy.
Yes.
And the first thing she says is, "You never call me unless you want something." But she still helps him. Then he discards her again, and it always goes wrong. And this is actually kind of a fun show because of his character. It's funny because this guy is a writer and created these great shows, but he's also, as many writers are, a frustrated actor, because if you didn't know who he was, you'd say, who is this guy? He's a really good actor, and he's got a lot of comic chops. He does a terrific job. I mean, if more people knew Paws, and this was a show that was kind of buried on Sunday morning when they had the Fantastic World of Hanna-Barbera. And it came very late in their history, so it's not really remembered well. But it's a very cute show.
Yeah, and speaking of the frustrated actor, Stanley Ralph Ross did, after Batman, he did do some on-screen acting work. Never took off, but he had a semi-regular role on Ellery Queen as the coroner.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he did a good job in that, and I think he also did a Night Stalker. So he did a few things in the 70s, but his main bread and butter, his claim to fame, was his work as a television writer.
Yeah, and his name appeared in an awful lot of shows.
Yes. In fact, when ABC and Warner Brothers developed Wonder Woman as a live-action series, I think Stanley Ralph Ross wrote the new original Wonder Woman made-for-TV movie that led to the Wonder Woman show, and he got the developed by credit for the weekly series that aired on ABC and later on CBS, and if memory serves, he also wrote some of the shows.
Yes, I remember seeing his name in the credits.
Yeah,
that's a significant thing there. You've also got Howard Morris playing sort of a
Howard Morris,
character,
who did a lot of voice stuff in the 60s and 70s. And again, going back to your show of shows, it's either.
Yeah, and Howard Morris and Scatman Crothers, both with a history of Hanna-Barbera, both going back to Alice in Wonderland, my personal favorite thing. And Scatman Crothers' career with Hanna-Barbera began because the voice of Sammy Davis was not available for the phonograph record because he had a contract with Reprise and probably would have been very expensive to be on a $1.98 record. So Scatman did it, and they were so impressed with his performance as the Cheshire Cat that this guy's good, let's use him for other things. And then Hong Kong Phooey came, and that was pretty groundbreaking that he was doing this voice. The fact that the character wasn't acknowledged necessarily as a white character or a black character. It was just a character.
Well, he was a dog.
He was a dog, and he was voiced by an African American. So it didn't even matter. It wasn't even an issue, and they cast him as that. And then he was on Chico and the Man, and he became very, very popular. And it was long in his career, and then he gave this riveting performance in The Shining. So his career really came late. And the man could do everything.
Yeah, prior to the late Renaissance he had, both as a voice actor and as an on-screen actor in the 70s and 80s, he got the name Scat Man because he was a scat singer.
Yes. Went all the way back to stage and performing. And there are episodes of Sanford and Son where he plays ukulele and sings scat songs and things like that. Yeah. I mean, to me, his voice is a very, very special thing because I love that Alice thing so much. So no matter what he does, and he's great on Paws because he's playing a magical character. He's this genie, and he's got kind of an attitude towards him. The character that Stanley Ralph Ross plays doesn't like him very much. He's not necessarily it's not all sunshine and roses between all of them. It's a cute show.
Yeah.
So as these shows go, I would put that one slightly above. And it has this sort of Native American feel to it, just in its design and its mythology, but it's not following any specific thing. They just has a little bit of a theming to it of that, just to give it that. So it's not just like every other show, just to set it apart and make it different.
And their credo is to help people.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're not quite superheroes, but they're a trouble-solving band who look like cute little bears.
They're adorable A-Team.
Yes. The adorable A-Team. That's what we should have on the back of this, the adorable A-Team, also known as the Paws. The Paws available as part of the Hanna-Barbera Classic Collection, the Paws, the complete series available through our friends at the Warner Brothers Archive. Greg Ehrbar, you can read Greg Ehrbar's Animation Spin twice a month at cartoonresearch.com. For more on Greg, gregehrbar.com. Greg, we'll see you again soon.
Thanks a lot, Ed.
If you haven't been listening to TV Confidential, this is who you're missing.
Jen Asner,
Connie Stevens, Dawn Wells,
Eric Braden,
Tony Camille,
Anson Williams, Don Most, Roy Finnis, Peter Marshall,
Sherry Alberoni,
George Slaughter, Dan Castellaneta, Taylor Hicks,
Lindsay Wagner, Loretta Swit,
and many, many more of your favorite celebrities and people behind the scenes in the world of television. That's TV Confidential, every week on this station
and every day online at televisionconfidential.com.
Become an advertiser or underwriter of TV Confidential and let our brand help promote your brand. To find out more, go to televisionconfidential.com/advertise.
Accredited by Guinness World Records, welcome to Archival Television Audio Incorporated, a peerless TV soundtrack archive, preserving the audio from television's first 3 decades, the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, the golden and silver age of television.
For more information, go to atvaudio.com.
Become a TV Confidential confidant and receive unlimited access to the last 5 years of TV Confidential, plus other members-only content. For more information, go to televisionconfidential.com/join.
We're Biffle and Schuster. How do you do? That's right, folks. We're Biffle and Schuster. We want to tell you about this amazing misadventures of Biffle and Schuster. It's a DVD from Pino Lober, and you're going to love it.
We're Biffle and Schuster. It's terrific.
Yeah, you know what Joe Dante says about them?
What did he say?
He says, forehead slapping funny. What impresses is the dogged authenticity to the era, which makes it all the more hilarious.
Absolutely. Accent on the high.
We're
Biffle and Schuster, as you can see. No one else can make that statement louder than we.
They say we're soporific, and
it's probably we. Because we're Biffle and Schuster. Oh, we're Biffle and Schuster. No, we're Biffle and Schuster.
B-I-F-F-L Biffle. S-H-W-S to Schuster.
Biffle and Schuster. Need we say more?
Available wherever DVDs are sold through our friends at Kino Lorber.
This portion of TV Confidential is sponsored by Uber. Enter the promo code TV Confidential, all one word, when you download the app at get.uber.com/go/TV Confidential, and you'll receive a free first ride up to $20.